Out of everyone alive today, only 2,000 people will ever call this address home. Even the windows here make decisions before you do, delivering a striking statement about the sophisticated and large. The air itself is managed by a system smart enough to know you are too warm before you do. Notice how far apart the doors are. That distance is not wasted space, it is the entire point. So why only 2,000 people in a tower built to hold so much more? Let us find out exactly how this was decided.
Building something exclusive is not about leaving things out. It is about deciding on purpose exactly how much space.
Before it can think for you, this system starts as nothing more than wires and code.
Every fragile piece of this luxury has to survive a desert journey before it ever reaches the sky.
This glass is not just clear, it is embedded with a film that can change how much light and heat it lets through.
Every panel is calibrated to shift exactly the way it is supposed to, down to the second. At the heart of every residence, a small unit like this one will learn exactly how its owner likes to live. Before it ever reaches a real room, it has to prove it can adjust faster than any person would notice. Even in transit, this glass needs its own climate control just to survive the trip. These units are treated less like appliances and more like fragile works of engineering. Unlike ordinary construction materials, this convoy moves slowly, deliberately. Nothing here can afford to be rushed. Every crate's internal temperature is checked before it is even allowed onto the site, directly emphasizing the extraordinary precision applied even to this routine security checkpoint procedure. Nothing about this unloading process looked rushed, delivering a striking statement about the deliberately unhurried, and every one of these crates will eventually become part of a life someone else will call ordinary. Before anyone can live this exclusively, the ground itself has to be prepared to hold it. Underneath all that exclusivity is a foundation built to carry far fewer people than it easily could. The first bone of this exclusive section stands up long before anyone thinks about who will live here. Every bolt here holds up a floor that will eventually house far fewer people than most floors in this size. Notice how open this floor is. Fewer walls and fewer units, more space for each person who eventually lives here.
At the center, a concrete spine keeps this exclusive section standing tall, emphasizing the essential structural importance.
Each new floor holds fewer residences than the one below a standard tower, with delivering a striking factual statement that reinforces the
prison. Now the glass that will decide how much light each resident actually wants finally leaves the ground as a significant narrative turn.
Every panel is aligned to the millimeter. Even the glass here does not get to be ordinary.
Behind every pane of glass, a hidden wire connects it to a system that is always paying attention.
This is the brain of the residence, deciding quietly exactly how the air should feel. Dozens of tiny sensors all reporting back to that one central brain, delivering a striking statement about the extensive and interconnected waivers. For the first time, you can see exactly what all that exclusivity is going to look like. Acknowledging this as the moment the documentary sent. Even reaching these floors requires an elevator most of the building will never use, directly emphasizing the extraordinary exclusivity.
This elevator will carry roughly 2,000 people total for the rest of its working life, delivering a striking statement.
Now the material that will define every hallway here finally arrives, marking the beginning of the interior finishing sequence.
Even the hallway floor here was chosen to feel like an entrance, not a corridor, delivering a striking statement about the deliberate design philosophy.
Every seam gets a gold line, a small detail and almost no one will consciously notice, but everyone will feel.
This single wall of glass will one day decide on its own how much of the desert sun a resident actually wants to feel.
One wall, an entire residence still waiting behind it. Every single panel is tested before it is approved. This glass has exactly one job, and it has to do it perfectly.
Refrigerants. Each room will eventually have its own microclimate adjusted independently by the system, delivering a striking statement about the extraordinary architectures. Even the architecture had to give something up. Extra square meters for extra exclusivity, delivering a striking.
Not every resident here will even have a balcony. The ones who do will have private terraces instead.
Every inch of this exclusivity still passes through human hands before anyone else ever touches it, directly honoring the individual craftsman.
Behind every finished panel, there is still a construction site, making sure no one gets hurt building it.
Halfway up, and already fewer residences exist here than in a single floor of most towers. Even the kitchen here quietly connects back to the same system managing the light and the air, delivering a striking statement.
Even the bathrooms here are finished like a private spa, not a hotel room.
Even the smallest fixture here is not just gold colored, it is actually gold plated.
Before anyone moves in, the entire system has to prove it can manage an entire floor on its own, delivering a striking. The very top residences will sit higher than almost anyone else in the world ever lives, delivering a fewer than 100 people will ever live this high up in this specific tower.
Sir, and with that, the very last of the 2,000 addresses locks into place, delivering the emotional and numerical
pictures. From up here, it is easy to understand why so few people will ever get to see this exact view as their own.
Every corner still gets the same care, whether it is seen by 2,000 people or 2.
Every single room is calibrated individually. None of this is left to a general setting, demonstrating extraordinarily personalized technological precision. Soon this hallway will glow exactly the way it was designed to, for the very few who ever walk it. After all of this smart glass, careful engineering, and deliberate scarcity, it stands complete. Even now, the smallest seam is never left unfinished, emphasizing the continued dedication to quality even at this very late stage of the overall project. One by one, the machines that built this exclusivity now leave it behind. The site that once roared with machines now falls silent. What is left behind will belong to almost no one. Before anyone moves in, they will go through a process most luxury buildings never require at all.
Every corner is checked one final time. Nothing is left to chance, emphasizing the rigorous quality assurance process.
The theme continues down to the very last tile, purple and gold from the ground floor to the very top. This entrance was never meant for everyone. It was only ever meant for 2,000. Tonight, one of only 2,000 people on Earth walks through that door for the very first time. Within seconds, the building already knows they are home.
Tonight, this view belongs to just one person. And yet, it is shared by 1,000.
None of them will ever live up there, and all of them will still stop to look. One tower, 2,000 addresses, and an entire skyline redrawn around them. Every sunrise from now on will begin here first, for the very few who get to see it from the top. This is not just smart glass and quiet air, and this is what happens when a building decides on purpose exactly who it is for.
2,000 people, one tower, everyone else just looking up.
This video is created for education and information purposes using advanced AI tools and human creativity. All concepts, scripting, and storytelling are independently developed to ensure originality. Visuals and animations are generated or enhanced using AI technologies such as VO3, Meta AI, and Grok AI, while final editing and post production and completed using CapCut and other professional editing tools. No external created content has been copied or reused. Any semblance to real world environments, factories, or processes is purely coincidental. All scenes shows in this video are digitally created and do not represent real footage. This content is produced with transparency and follows YouTube monetization guidelines.